Hello, good morning and welcome to Business. Food and Agriculture Minister Alhaji Mohammed Muniru Limuna says there's enough cassava on the market to meet demand. The minister reeled out figures to support his claim despite the price of cassava and food processed with the root have skyrocketed.
Joy News recently reported of hikes in prices of units of cassava on the Agbogoloshi market in Accra. Similarly, all rather related food items including gari, cassava dough and fufu had been affected by the increase in prices. The traders said the situation was because of a shortage of cassava. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture says currently the country is producing 17,213,000 metric tons of cassava. This, the ministry says, marked an improvement from 2008 when the country produced 11,351,000 metric tons of the crop. Addressing the press, Agric Minister Alhaji Mohammed Muniru Limuna says this figure is enough to meet local demand.
Yes, what we have produced, there's no shortage of cassava. The only thing you have to appreciate is that there has been an added value to the use of cassava. So it is a plus to us that we have to now encourage. That's why we are coming out with more technologies to be able to encourage them to produce more. But there has been an added value. We didn't know the breweries would have been taking them for root, what they call it, is it root beer? And now they all go there to take it for root beer. They were not using cassava for root beer. So what was already produced was enough for the local consumption. But we know that there's added value. That means that there's cassava. Now cassava used to be for the poor. It's no more for the poor. So going into cassava is an investment everybody will have to look into, because there are more interested things coming into the use of cassava.
He adds that the ministry is moving away from over-reliance on rains and is making strides with its irrigation projects to ensure all-round productivity. He says currently the ministry has achieved 9,000 hectares of irrigated lands. The situation in other major markets all over the country, however, does not reflect the ministry's report, as prices of cassava and other food crops continue to rise as a result of a shortage. According to reports by Isoko Ghana, the price of cassava has increased by 10% and now selling at 7 cedi 10 pesos per 4 tubers. The report also says tomato, which made the highest gain in price last week, recorded a third highest gain this week and is selling at 7 cedi 60 pesos medium-sized tomato tin. Head of Women in Agriculture at the Ministry of Agric, Paulina Adi, re-echoed the assertion by the Agric Minister that the increase in prices of food crops on the market is not as a result of low production.
It's a natural pattern. It is a natural pattern. Around this time it's so hot and the ground is dry, so a lot of cassava is not uprooted. Yes, but it's not a shortage.
Okay, so does it happen every year?
Yes, you have to study the trend. Around this time, even the quality is not the same. Even however milly the cassava is, milly in terms of something you can pound, but you can process for gari. So around this time, it's so costly. It's a natural pattern.
All right, so in the meantime, what do we do?
Well, that is why when it is in abundance, you have to process into usable forms, and when it's costly, you don't bother so much.
The Ministry of Agric has assured it is working towards ensuring that the country is food sufficient, allaying fears of a looming food shortage.
Now, the government has confirmed owing bulk oil distribution companies about $530 million, but says it will be paid after the completion of the reconciliation audit being conducted by Ernst & Young. The reaction was occasioned by banks citing government indebtedness to bulk oil distribution companies as a major contributor to the high incidence of non-performing loans in the country. In an interview with Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Petroleum Authority, Moses Asaga, explained what has stalled the process.
Well, in terms of dollar terms, government owed almost about $900 million on account of forex loss.
Okay.
And this was because of the subsidies in those periods, 2011 to almost 2013, 2014, when crude prices were very high, government was subsidizing on the forex because we're not using the forward rate, but we're using the spot rate. So at the time that LCs are supposed to mature after 90 days, the exchange rate would have moved, and that is what accumulated the forex loss. So government in 2013-2014 took a bold step to start paying this forex loss. And to my mind, government paid approximately $400 million to the BDC between the period 2014 and then 2015.
And that's it for business. Up next is sports. My name is Emmanuel Ampuaji-Riafi.